Today on episode 483 of the I Am Salt Lake podcast, we chat with our friend Rich Wilson. So much fun to have Rich back on the podcast to talk about a brand new video series that he's doing called Rich Shows You Stuff. And of course, we also got to talk about his previous stand-up comedy days, as well as some other stuff that he's been up to since the last couple times that he's been on the podcast. He has been on the podcast like 3 times, Chrissy.
Yeah, well, he should be, because he's amazing. Rich is so talented, and I'm so glad he finally decided to do a real YouTube channel.
And if you don't know who Rich is, please listen to this episode. Get to know him. I mean, whatever he touches turns to gold. I mean, stand-up comedy.
Everything he does, he succeeds in amazingly.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, yeah.
And I'll put the links for the other podcast episodes that Rich was on at IamSaltLake.com.
But before we get into that conversation, I think we should probably introduce ourselves, don't you?
Absolutely.
Hi, guys. I'm Chrissy Hollifield.
Hey, I'm Chris Hollifield.
And if you're a longtime listener, you already know us and you already know the show, and thank you for joining us again. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, you may be asking yourself what it's all about. Well, we're here every week with a brand new episode where we get to showcase awesome people in Salt Lake City and surrounding areas. We talk to business owners, authors, tattoo artists, restaurant owners, really anyone that might have a cool story to share.
Like Rich Wilson on this episode, he talks about his brand new video series, which you have to go subscribe to. Rich Shows You Stuff. I don't know if you guys heard Lucy in the background here.
Lucy's recording with us for the first time officially.
Yeah, so she's in here. Anyways, like I said, Rich Wilson is on this episode. Such a fantastic conversation. I love talking to him. You guys are going to love listening to this one, so let's get into it. You know what, Rich? I want to start with you to give a little bit of a backstory with you before we get into this conversation. You've actually been on 2 recordings with us. The first time, episode 218 was the first time with me. That was back in 2016. That was back before Chrissy was even co-hosting with me.
It was like a few episodes before I joined.
Yeah. And then you did an I Am Salt Lake Live with us.
Yep.
In episode 251, November of 2016. So it was the same year. That was a lot of fun. We got to do that with Jimmy Martin, Kat Martin, and then Aaron Orlovitz too.
I remember
that was so much of a fun show. I miss live shows.
Yeah, that was way fun. I went home from that show with some stuff too. You gave out some prizes.
Dude, we had so many prizes.
I know. They just kept going.
So many prizes. It was crazy. Oh, what a great night. Go listen to it. Sounds great. It was fun.
So, Rich, are you doing any stand-up comedy anymore? Any sorts of stand-up? Or, I mean, I guess as much as possible with the whole pandemic right now, but are you doing any?
No, I stopped altogether about, it was probably like 2.5 years ago now. Chrissy would know how much emotional time you need to spend with stand-up. It's tough and I heard you say it on a podcast back in February. You either need to be all in or just don't do it, because it's so hard emotionally. All week long, you're thinking of jokes, and then you go to open mics and you might bomb or you might do well. And then it takes up so much of your mental just stability that I didn't have it in me to keep doing it, because it is tough. But also my goal doing stand up was to just be an opener for funny guys. I thought if I could get to that stage where I feel comfortable with my jokes, I like my jokes, and I go up for, 8-10 minutes and just have fun and get laughs. That's all I wanted. That was like my goal. And then I got there and I spent about 3-4 months doing that. I would go to Wise Guys on, open for friends on weekends. And then after a month or 2 of that, I was just like, this is what I wanted, but I could see it's just going to be like this forever. And I didn't like the thought of feeling like I had peaked and then I'm slowly going downhill. I'm just like, I'm just going to bail out while I feel like this is as good as it's going to get for stand-up for me. So I haven't gone back to stand-up because I feel like I did exactly what I wanted to do. I could have tried to get an hour and tried to headline, but I didn't have it in me. That I just wanted to see if I could write some jokes and not hate them, not hate the jokes and be proud of them.
So your main creative outlet then is this brand new video series that you're doing on YouTube, right? The Rich Make Stuff, or Rich shows you stuff. I wrote it down here. It's right in front of me. I just didn't have it up. Rich shows you stuff, which is brilliant, man.
I'm already sharing it on all my Slack channels.
Oh, thank you.
I'm like, you have to go see my friend Rich. He's so cool. I'm so excited, Rich. I'm so excited that you're really doing it. You know,
it's just a simple concept. I just thought, well, it started like a year ago. I was like, you know, I think it'll be fun to just make little videos where I just do guitar tutorials, like play like more than words. You know, I thought like just make a 5-minute video, just show people how to play, you know, like basic song. And so I did my first episode with more than words. And then when I was playing and editing the video, like I don't really know much about guitars. I could play a couple intros, a couple basic songs, but I'm like, this is going to look so bad to people that play guitar, because I don't even know the chord, like the names of the strings or anything. I'm like, put your finger on the 5th string and I was like, I shouldn't be doing this. It seemed like a good idea, but I shouldn't be doing it. And then I was thinking, like, I like that format to where I like do a little instructional video. It's like 5 minutes long, but it kind of opened it up to like, I could do it on anything. I don't need to just do it on playing guitar. And I was like, I skateboard a lot. It's like, I could do just one 5-minute episode on how to ollie on a skateboard, you know, just for adults, whoever, you know, just like make it fun, write some jokes and just get in and out in 5 minutes and make it, you know, a tight little show. And then I still haven't done a skateboarding episode, but it kind of evolved into just different things I'm passionate about. Making 5 minutes, just really condense down, write a couple solid jokes and get to the point within 5 minutes. So an example is I did an episode on, I always wanted to try a backflip on a BMX, and I'm 41, I'm getting up there, and the longer I wait, you know, it's getting more scary, more is at risk if I get hurt. And I was like, I'm just going to make an episode to see if I could do a backflip on a bike. And I don't bike. I'm a skateboarder. I have biked in the past, but it's not my thing. And so the video just starts out me wanting to do it. Going to Woodward, they have these foam pits. And so I'd practice in the foam pit, and then I got hurt. And then anyway, spoiler for the end, I ended up getting a backflip on a bike, and I'm never going to do it again because it was really scary. But that's kind of like the idea for the show.
I was curious how scary that was.
As an adult, that is
so
such
scary.
a commitment.
But yeah, just little ideas like that. Something I might want to accomplish, or other episodes. I remodeled my living room over 3 months, and it was a huge project, but I just took kind of like the big parts of the project and squashed them down into the 5-minute episode. And that one's just like how to remodel your episode. But that one more is like joke driven. I had lots of jokes for that one. And I just tried to make it a little loose, not so much like a Bob Vila. And then you got to, you know, get really technical about it. I just wanted to keep it simple, but fun and light. So yeah, just little episodes like that.
Well, and I was actually telling Chris before we got on that your videos are perfect for people like me. I have really bad ADHD. And so I can see what I want, and I cannot understand the steps to get there because I'll start at like step 7 and then go to step 3 and then go to step 12. And so yours are so entertaining and quick and informative that it actually keeps our interest long enough.
Mm-hmm.
So
thank you.
Research a little bit more eventually. So I just want to say thanks and make more stuff because I want to learn how to make stuff and I'm really selfish.
Well, you two, and there's a handful of people in Salt Lake that have always been really supportive of me, and it's humbling because you'd know that too. You have these people out there that you don't hang out with, you know them online, but whenever you interact with them, they're like, "I love what you're doing, and just keep doing it." And it's really it's a humbling thing to hear from people that aren't your close friends, but it really helps push me to keep doing stuff like this.
All right, it's that time of the podcast where we're going to take just a minute and tell you about one of our awesome sponsors. Oh my gosh, I love talking about them. UtahMarijuana.org. They are your number one spot for all things medical marijuana, medical cannabis, CBD, and THC. Got to give a quick shout out to my co-host on my other podcast, Utah in the Weeds, Tim Pickett. I don't know if you guys remember him from back on episode 420 when he came into our podcast studio and talked to us about medical marijuana here in Utah. Well, now he's a sponsor of the podcast, UtahMarijuana.org. They have a team of medical cannabis experts. They're going to make getting your medical card super easy from your first office visit to navigating the state card application and beyond.
With over 20 compassionate and highly skilled qualified medical providers ready to help you find relief, you won't have to search for a doctor willing to recommend cannabis treatment. The patient experience team at utahmarijuana.org is dedicated to helping you get all the way through the process so you can get your medicine legally. And right now, they're offering an exclusive discount to I Am Salt Lake listeners. Use the code GREEN25 for $25 off your first visit.
Remember, use that code GREEN25. That way they know you came from this podcast, that you heard it on this podcast, and that you're going to support this podcast. And then you'll also get $25 off your visit. If you're in the North Salt Lake Bountiful area, check this out because utahmarijuana.org has a location right next door to Wholesome Co. The address is 580 West, 100 North, number 4 in Bountiful. So depending on where you're located in the valley, they have a location for you. Hey, isn't it time that you took control of your own health? utahmarijuana.org. Feel better.
One thing I did want to say when we started is that a lot of people that come on your show, like they're starting a new business, they invest a lot of money into this business that they want to start. And for me to come on and be like, hey, I started a YouTube channel and I don't have any followers. Can you help me? I thought it was just such a low bar for me to come on.
Dude, Rich, we have both been waiting for you to do this. We've been waiting for years and we talk about it because you are so talented and you are so funny and the world needs to know it.
Okay. So I got another thing for you that I was thinking about. So Chrissy, I went to plenty of open mics with you, not with you, but you were there, but we did do one show when you were doing comedy, one show together at the Covey Center.
Oh, the one you made my kid cry?
I didn't make your kid cry.
Remember? Was it in Provo?
I remember. I remember where it was. Your kids were there.
Dude. He cried later. He held it in.
What did I say?
You know what? It was some joke and you looked right at him when you did the punchline and he's a really sensitive kid.
Oh, man.
And I had to afterwards, I'm like, it's okay. He was just joking, but that was a great night.
That's too bad. Yeah. I wish I knew what the joke was.
I do too. I think that it had something to do with toilets. I don't know. It's been a long time.
Okay. So at that show, I can't remember the name of the headliner. Don't say it if you remember, but he was big in Salt Lake maybe like 5-10 years before that show. And when he got on stage, he was kind of looking around and he was not cool with like how many people showed up and where he was doing it. It was like a empty ballet kind of studio and there was a piano on the stage, but it wasn't for stand-up. It was just a piano. And for 20 minutes, he would just joke about like, man, my career sucks. Like, look where I am. And like, like you, me, and other guys on the show was like, hey, this is kind of cool for us. Like this is a good 30 people is not bad for us. But it was just funny for him to just kind of talk about how crappy it was and how small it was. It kind of began to punish the people that actually did show up to the show. And so that's kind of like, to compare that to me, I'm like, man, I make these videos, my latest videos that I really believe in. And, oh man, I just wish I had like a bigger audience. And in a way, it's punishing the people that do support me, like my friends, because I'm like saying, I just wish I had a little more. But it's like, there are people that are very supportive and I really respect their opinions. I could name there's like really 5 people I got in mind. I'm like, these people believe in me in a way that my parents never did, But yeah, I don't know. I hate to be like, I wish I had a bigger audience for this, but also it's like, I have the biggest supporters, like 5 people. I was like, really help, like kind of just inspire me to next time I got to do a better video and I got to keep on upping my episodes. But yeah, what was my point? My point was, I do really like the people that support me now, and I don't want to be that comedian that showed up and was like, this show sucks, everyone sucks, nobody showed up for this. But it's like, hey, there are people here.
Well, here's the thing, Rich, is when you put time and effort, and for anybody that watches your videos, which we'll have a link for the YouTube channel at iamsaltlake.com if you're driving right now or something, but Go watch it. I mean, you put time into this in editing and the special guests that you have in some of them. I mean, I don't want to give any spoilers here.
I'll give
I guess Tom Wilson is. You want to get it in front of as many eyes as you can. Same thing we do with this podcast. I mean, we're going to put time into it, I would rather have,
it'd be nice
more
if people knew
it.
about it because you're spending so much time creating something.
So, and that's where I'm like, hey, I want to support you, Rich. I've always loved your stuff, and I want to get as many people to view it because I want you to keep doing it.
Right, and that's one of the reasons I reached out to you. So my BMX backflip video, it was really, my heart was in it. I was very passionate about that episode. And then I had another one coming out in 2 weeks, and I started to really question, I have so much emotionally invested in these little, 5-minute episodes that I don't want them to be disposable. Kind of like TikTok culture. You have 10-second videos that they're funny and entertaining, but you just throw them away when you're done, But I have too much emotionally invested in my new series that I need more people to watch. I need, I don't know if I'm just repeating myself, but okay. So in between,
you're making sense. You make sense. It's making sense.
Okay. I love the title of your channel, Rich Shows You Stuff, but for kind of a viewer experience point of view, maybe a more, descriptive page name would be like Rich makes cool nerd shit out of wood. That's the catch.
But I mean, there's so much more to it, though. I mean, you got how to do stand-up comedy. You got how to make a hoverboard. You got how to do a backflip.
Okay, let's be fair here.
There was some other. I know there's another one or two.
There are a few of us that would seriously get in a gladiator pit for some of the stuff that you've made, the Nintendo stuff.
Clown bed, the Barber
clown bed.
That was for Guy Seidel, a local comic. I just wanted to build something fun. I build something fun every couple months. So I'm going to build this clown bed, but I don't know what to do with it. And he said he'll buy it off me, but he collects guitars too. I was like, oh man, I'll just trade it for one of your guitars. That's what I did, and that's in the episode. At the end of it, you see me playing the guitar that I traded for it. But we were talking about the special guests I have on the show. So I don't know if you're aware of the Cameo app. So you just pay celebrities to say happy birthday or congratulate someone on an event. But so I don't know if I'm allowed to do it. I'm probably not allowed to do it. I just asked them to give me advice on something, and then I use it in the episode, like they're a guest in the episode, but they don't really know that they're doing that. I think it's not allowed.
Well, there's a watermark. You're free and clear. As long as there's a link to the original content.
Right.
You're not taking credit for it.
So, Chris, you mentioned the hoverboard episode. So, 2 years ago? I built the hoverboard that Griff Tannen rides in Back to the Future 2. It's the Pitbull. It's the black one with the jets on it. So I built that out of wood, and it was just one of those projects I wanted to build. And then I saw Tom Wilson pop up on Cameo in the last couple of months. I was like, man, it'll be cool if I could get him talking, because he's a painter. If I could get him talking about his paintings and then tie it into the video I shot 2 years ago. So that's what I did. And then that has been, he got really in depth about his painting and his art. And I did too, at the beginning of the episode. And then at the end, I actually show, the video of me building it. But that episode, I made it, so it's weird for me to say, but that episode is really special to me because I felt that his guest appearance on it really tied. It felt very cohesive and solid. It felt like it was actually 6 minutes. 6 minutes of just, it's the best work I've ever done, like put together. I don't know. I really felt my heart was really in that one. And a lot of people liked that one, which I was pretty happy about.
All right, we're going to take just a minute of your time and tell you about one of our awesome sponsors, the Salt Lake Barber Company. I love talking about them. Not only are they a top-notch barber shop, but this is where I go to get all my haircuts, all my beard trims. Isaac over there, he does a great job. All the barbers over there do a great job. I've been going there for, 5 or 6 years now. Their address is 10 East, 800 South, right on the corner of 8th and Main. They offer haircuts, beard trims, even straight razor shaves, which I have yet to have one, maybe one day. They are a true community barbershop. They focus on providing the best work environment possible and allowing barbers to always provide the highest quality experience while in the chair. Listen up though, they do take walk-ins if they're available. I wouldn't count on it though. So your best bet is get yourself a guaranteed appointment by booking it online at saltlakebarberco.com. You could select your services, the barber, the time. That way you have a guaranteed appointment. You'll walk in and you'll look good. saltlakebarberco.com is where you can go and book your appointment. Many thanks to the Salt Lake Barber Company for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Let's get back into that conversation with Rich Wilson. Here we go. Let's talk about the process. So are you just always videoing? Do you always have a GoPro with you, like wherever you go, and you just have like tens of thousands of hours of video footage at home? Or how do you...
And how do you sort through it?
Yeah, because like you even mentioned this hoverboard thing. So obviously that video is from... You said how many? You made it a while back, right?
2 summers ago. Something like, yeah.
So you had that video for a couple years?
Yeah, I did.
Do you have like stuff like that just saved away? Or how do you, I did. I mean, what...
I made a video out of that. It was just like a 3-minute just building it. What you see at the end of that episode where I build it was the video I made. But it was just one of those things where, you know, I made this video of me building the hoverboard and then it was kind of done and it was over. And then after like 2 days, like it's kind of forgotten. And that's why when I got Tom Wilson, Biff Tannen on that episode and I tied it in with the intro from me, it kind of turned it into something more special than just me building it. It felt something that I could look at in 20, 30 years and be like, man, that was solid, like that, how it felt. And I keep repeating myself, but sorry, your question. I film whenever I build something, I kind of just put a chest GoPro on me and I just kind of push record when I'm doing kind of a part of the building process that kind of looks kind of like you're getting stuff done. And then, so I'm not recording the whole time. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to glue this part onto the hoverboard. So I'm just going to record for 10 seconds and then use it later.
Sure.
But whenever I go on vacation with my kids, I am filming I'm one of those parents that just film everything. And then when we drive home from the vacation, I am editing the whole drive and I love it. Like that's every vacation is just, it's like a movie montage from the 80s. I get lots of angles and cover everything from the vacation. And then, so in 10 years, when the kids are old and moved out, we'll have like a playlist of all these videos. We could just watch them and nothing. And my son has started listening to those songs just in his rotation in his phone because he loves those songs because he associates them with each vacation we went on. And I don't know. I just love doing all that stuff.
What do you, I mean, you're just like editing on like a Mac or what?
Yeah, just iMovie, nothing fancy, just the basic. Yeah, nothing fancy.
Cause I need to learn video editing.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, cause you do a great job and that's what I just didn't know. Like you must just have files upon files of videos and storage and cause I know how it is to edit audio from a podcast and this is only audio. Like we've taken, the audio equipment to say a farmer's market and try to record some man on the street style interviews. And then I have like 6 hours of audio to have to go through and find the good pieces, and that gets a little difficult.
Right.
So I just didn't know what your process was like.
Yeah, no, I kind of have in mind exactly what I want. And then I have do like, 4 takes of it and then I edit it together later. So I don't just let it run because it would take forever. Like yesterday.
It's like strategic.
Yeah. Because I know how overwhelming it will be if you come back with 6 hours of audio, video, it's like this is over. Yeah, it'll be too much. But yesterday, like I went down to Salt Lake for my next video. It might be coming out in a week. Depends how quickly I could get it all edited. I've got this 10-second joke in the video where I am going all over the place. But the joke is the commitment to go to all these places for a 10-second joke. And that's what's kind of what I think is funny about it. I wish I could give it away, but you'll see it. But anyway, so I was in Salt Lake, just on State Street doing dumb stuff. But I just filmed for like 5 seconds. And I'm like, okay, I know I could use that. And then when I get home to edit it, it's a lot easier.
Huh. Very cool. Very cool. So how often, I mean, do you have like a goal? You mentioned that you have a video coming out maybe in a week or so. I mean, do you have like a plan as far as how often you plan on releasing videos, or is it just kind of here and there?
I wanted to do one a month, but I have too many ideas right now building up. So I kind of want to get them out of my system before I lose interest in the idea for each episode. So one coming out that I really want to do is I like Napoleon Dynamite. It's a dumb movie, but I really like it. But I want to go to all the shooting locations and reshoot a lot of the scenes from, like the going off the bike jump in front of Pedro's house, like stuff like that. But it'll just be me doing it, but shot from the same angles. So anyway, it'll just be me visiting these shooting locations, but I'll also have John Heater, Napoleon, give a little intro to like Preston, Idaho, like what he liked about it. So I'll try to tie it all together. So that's like one of those things I want to do. I want to do it really soon, because the longer I sit on the idea, I start to question, like, is that a good idea? But so I have 5 episodes that I have in mind right now that I need to get done before I slowly lose interest. Or, before you lose passion
and I'm sure I've asked you this before, Rich, on the other recordings I've done with you, but I don't get how you were given more hours in the day than the rest of us. I mean, how do you do everything you're doing, man? Because even you mentioned family vacation, so you're obviously still spending time with the family. You're still,
it's it's hard. I drag my kids around to a lot of it, but they like doing it. Like I don't know. I'm trying to think of. Yeah, it's tough. Saturdays, I'm like, okay, I'm going to give myself 4 hours to build. Like when I was working on the hoverboard, it's like, okay, 4 hours this morning, I'm going to work on this. And then that took a couple of weeks, a couple of hours here and there after work. So it's just wherever I can. But I don't watch much TV. I'm always busy, busy doing something. I used to paint a lot. And so whenever I'd have free time, I'd be at the dining table painting. And then I lose interest in a lot of projects, so I haven't painted for a while. But yeah, it's just whenever my wife binge watches a lot of shows, but I'm always like up on my feet, like doing something. But I don't look down on her. I'm not like, hey, you should be doing stuff with me. I'm just like, we both have our personalities, I am always busy doing and the things that I'm busy with they're not very productive. Like painting, it's more therapeutic to me than I'm not doing the laundry or anything, I'm doing something that is just as much of a waste of time as binge watching a show, to me.
But it's not a waste of time, man. It's the whole self-care thing, man. It's the whole, like, you taking care of yourself. You have an outlet, right? You have you have a way to express yourself. You have a way to get out some of that tension, I'm sure, and some of the stresses of life.
Yeah, 2020.
That's true. I mean, hello.
But that is right. What because my wife, when she's watching a show, I used to do this. I used to be like, hey, what? You just going to watch TV this afternoon? But, that's how she relieves stress, And that's what I've learned in the last, 6 months or a year. Like she's doing what she needs to do to get over the day. And I need to paint something or edit a video. That's kind of my new things, like working on editing a video. So we all have our things that we need.
Yeah, because I actually watched the Bart Simpson clown bed video today, just a couple hours ago. And I think it was mentioned in there, it was 10 hours of painting it.
Oh, yeah.
And 5 hours.
5 hours of building, 10 hours.
So that's what made me wake up. And I realized, I'm like, wow, Rich is putting some hours into this thing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's just making it. Then there's
I know you're building. I mean, you build houses during the day, right? You're a carpenter. Mm-hmm. That's your day job, right?
Yep.
So you're working. And I'm sure that's hard work. I'm sure you're tired when you get home, and then you're going to come and do some of these other projects for 10 hours. Yeah. Man, that's nuts.
It wasn't 10 hours straight. It was over maybe 2 hours a day. That's all I could take painting that clown bed. It really did suck, but building it was really fun. I have a thing I want to build for another episode, which is just the DeLorean from Back to the Future, the back of it, just like the back, the rear, but kind of life size. And the air vents that come out the back of the DeLorean, I want them big enough to put my VHS collection in, because I got a bunch of old 80s VHS. So I'll build it in my living, or my little TV room, and so I could have, it's just like a shelf for my. So anyway, that's gonna not take that long to build, but that's gonna be like a 15-hour painting that thing. but it'll make for a good video.
Just install it and paint it when you're bored, slowly.
Yes, it's gonna take. So I'm gonna regret building that, but it'll be worth it when it's done. Oh, my son's friends are way more into everything, because my house got a bunch of stuff, way into it than my son is. He's like, yeah, my dad, yeah, he builds all that stuff, but it's no biggie to him. But all my son's friends like, wait, your dad built that at over there? But he's like, yeah,
it's cool.
Dude, if I dropped my kids off at your house, they would never come home. They would be like, this place is awesome.
And I need that kind of, that 14-year-old just support, because my kids are over it. I've been doing it their whole life, so it's like no biggie. But like a new kid will come over and is like, wait, do you have a half pipe in your garage? And my kid's like, yeah, we never ride it. And it's just like, no, I want someone to appreciate it.
Can people hire you? Like, could we hire you to say, come to our house and do some like custom carpentry? Like, I mean, this is an honest, serious question. Like, if we came up with some
like
cool ideas,
a VHS
right?
Bookshelf.
Yeah. I mean, is that something that people could hire you for?
I used to take side jobs, but it's mostly all new construction now. It's just one house after the other. They just never end. I used to do like one house every 2 weeks, but now it's never ending. There's townhomes going up everywhere. So I can't take any side jobs. But it could slow down, and then I'll be taking remodel jobs or little custom jobs. But for now, it's just too busy.
Too many homes, too many people moving to Utah.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Just so I work mostly in Logan, and all the streets are just filled with empty lots that all have sold signs on the empty lots. That's never been the case up there. It's always been like, hey, we got this like spec houses for sale, but now they're all pre-sold like forever. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
So you pretty much have job security, man. You got busy. You're going to be busy for a while with all that.
Wood prices, if that keeps going up, though, it might slow things down. But other than that, people are still going to need houses.
Is wood prices? See, I haven't followed a whole lot of that. Wood prices are going up, or I mean, I know this isn't probably interesting to most listeners, but
it's not exactly our wheelhouse, but it's fascinating.
Yeah. So what's going on with wood, man?
So last year when COVID came in, the lumber people that produce like 2x4s and stuff let a lot of people go. They're like, the business is going to slow down. We need to let all you guys go. And so they did that, and business picked up because everyone that stayed home with the quarantine started working on their basements, building decks. And so that really picked up, but also the housing market really picked up too when that wasn't really supposed to happen. So there's a huge shortage in 2x4s. So they used to be like $3 for one, and now I think they may have just passed $10 for one 2x4. So, you got thousands of 2x4s for a house times $10, which really adds up for, new houses, building that.
That's an insane inflation.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how 2020 treated you, but that's pretty much the answer, man. That sounds like it really put a damage on some of those prices.
It's just catching up now. It hasn't affected me because the builders buy all the wood. So, but I know they're gonna ask me to drop my prices pretty soon if they keep losing money on houses. But it's not that fun.
Well, let's get you famous on YouTube. Then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I don't want to be a YouTuber. I just I'm saying the same thing again and again. I feel like my show is decent. I watch a lot of YouTubers with my kids. I'm like, man, these guys aren't doing anything. They're not doing anything. Like, I feel like I could do something better. So anyway, I made a show that I think is decent, and I just want people to watch it.
Do you have any advice, like if somebody listening wanted to start their own YouTube channel, any advice you would give them?
No, because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to build an audience. I have a cousin, and she said, you need to get on TikTok and make little versions of your videos so you could build an audience there and then have them come over to YouTube. So I don't know how to build an audience, and it's just not my thing. It's hard to, I could make stuff that I really like, and I believe in. But the whole putting myself out there and kind of like, please watch my video kind of thing is really hard, because it's two different skills, you know. And I don't have that skill. I don't know how to market myself or anything. I could make a product, but I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to getting people to watch it.
You're creative.
You got on this podcast, man.
Yeah, thanks. That you were the one. I was like, Chris will have me on.
We were just waiting for a reason to get you back on, honestly.
Oh man, let's talk. You know what? I want to talk about. We have the standard Salt Lake questions. I know you live a little up north, but let's talk. I mean, you're in the Salt Lake City area enough. But you know, we have family and friends that visit you. I don't know if I've ever had a chance to ask you this question, Rich. What's the Rich Wilson tour like when they visit? Like, do you take them up to Park City, or do you take them to downtown Salt Lake, or do you take them to, the Great Salt Lake, or where do you go?
I have, whenever friends visit, they're always from Australia or New Zealand, and they haven't really seen mountains before. So I always, Park City, if they come in the winter, we'll go tubing up at, Woodward's got a nice tubing hill. And then there's not much Mexican food in Australia and New Zealand either. So Red Iguana. And then I really like the like Zion's National Park. I know that's not Salt Lake, but that national park in
Utah,
Arches
it
too.
counts.
Yeah, and that's because when I started it, I would always say Salt Lake City, but then I realized that so many of us really, we utilize the whole state. So we don't,
we're pretty spread apart, but still connected.
What about, you mentioned Red Iguana, any other favorite local eating spots that you like to eat at, even more up north, even if you have any recommendations up that way?
I'm not,
you said you're in Logan a lot.
Not much of a foodie. This is going to sound funny, but I really like the Bahama Mama at Maverick gas station. I eat a lot.
Dude, I have,
no shade.
Okay. I have such a soft spot for gas station hot dogs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to,
Me too.
I worked at 7-Eleven years ago, and one of the best parts of that job was just the unlimited hot dogs.
Oh yeah. I always get taquitos at 7-Eleven on my thing. Just the 2 for 2. Lots of those.
Oh, Rich. No, man, I'm so glad to bring you back through. I mean, was there anything? I mean, I think we kind of touched everything on your YouTube channel. I mean, your old videos are still up there, Comedians in Cars.
Yeah,
which,
right.
Eating Vegemite.
Yeah, eating Vegemite.
Gross.
Chrissy was on one of those.
Yeah?
Scroll back through those. You'll find Chrissy in there.
I'm scared to go look at it.
No,
I
it's good.
forgot
It's you
about
and
that.
Marta.
Ridiculous.
Marta Rita.
Yeah, Marta.
And Mac
and then
Arthur.
who's in the back?
I can't remember who else. I know Mac was in the
Marty.
back. But
I
can't
think
remember who the
Marty Archibald.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it was Marty.
Maybe?
Yep,
Yeah.
Marty and Mac.
That was so fun.
Yep, this is a good one.
People should go watch it because it's pretty good.
No, go back through. Is it labeled with your name on it?
It's on your
You'll
channel.
see a picture of her for sure in the thumbnail, because she was in the.
And I think it's
seat.
blue hair. She had blue hair or purple hair or something.
Oh, yeah.
like that.
I had teal hair back
Teal
then.
hair. Yeah. So, no, man, go check it out. I'll put the link for your channel up at iamsaltlake.com with this episode show notes, or you can just do a search for Rich Shows You Stuff. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Tell Rich that you heard him on I Am Salt Lake podcast.
Just go like all the videos too.
Because I'm sure you want comments, right, to help the algorithms on YouTube. So I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about before I let you go, Rich?
No, but thanks for always supporting me. I feel warm and cozy. I knew when I came on, I was like, I'm going to see smiles and it's going to be a good time. So thank you.
Anything else up your sleeve? Anything else? Nothing? No little secrets you want to share?
Nope, can't think of anything. I know tomorrow I'm going to be like, oh man, I should have brought this up, but not right now. I'll come on in 3 more years. That's the thing. In 3 more years, I'm going to be making a completely different thing. And then you'll have to have me on for that. I don't know what it's going to be by then.
Are you posting jokes on Twitter or anything?
No. I used to write
jokes on Facebook
every day on Facebook. I used to just for fun, to keep that. It's kind of like a muscle, it's kind of like a fun little, let's see if I could get a laugh out of this. But now I'm kind of just writing my jokes for the show that I'm working on. So I kind of just save it for each episode, and it kind of makes it something fun to look forward to see if, people like them on there.
Oh my gosh. Twitter. I just realized, Rich, I met you on Twitter.
Yeah, his username was like DeLorean something.
Yeah, it was DeLorean. And I posted some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then we started following each other, and I didn't even know you lived in Utah.
That was so long ago.
I know,
That's a
right?
whole lifetime ago. Yeah, that was back when Wise Guys Open Mic was at the Gateway. No, not the Gateway. The Trolley Square.
It was at Trolley Square. Yeah.
That was like 2010-ish. Long time ago.
In the old Hard Rock Cafe.
Yep, that's right.
And then you used to leave some voicemails for this podcast way back in the beginning. Remember they were like, wasn't there like a Crocodile Dundee one that you did?
I'm sure I did. Yeah.
They're pretty amazing.
Yeah, I wonder if I can find
them. Don't look them up. Anything I did 5 years ago, you could forget about it.
This was like closer to like 8 or 9 years ago.
It was before
This was like
the
beginning of the podcast, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, very cool. Chrissy has a final question. I'm going to let her ask you, Rich. Thank you again for recording with us. And thank you.
Seriously, thank you, man. We miss you. And before we let you go, can you leave our listeners with a piece of life advice or a motto that either you live by or you just wish they would live by?
No, I'll do something I live by. Maybe it would apply. I don't have it in a tight, concise way to say it, but one thing I always try to do with creative projects is just the next one I make has to be better than the last one I made. And then that way you kind of get a little better over time. So that's it. Just that thought, like try to outdo yourself. Not outdo someone else, just try to outdo yourself.
Thanks again to Rich Wilson for joining us on this episode of the podcast. All of the links that we mentioned in this conversation can be found with the episode show notes on our website at iamsaltlake.com. And to go straight to this episode, type iamsaltlake.com/483.
Hey, I want to mention a couple of ways that you can support this podcast. You can leave it a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This is probably the easiest way to support it. It doesn't cost you anything, yet it tells Chrissy and I what you think of the podcast and lets us know what you like about it.
What we can do better.
So go ahead and leave a review there and also become a Patreon supporter. This is a great way to financially support the show, to keep the lights on, to keep our equipment top notch. So just keep the ball rolling. You can do that at patreon.com/iamsaltlake. All right, you guys have a great week. Make sure to get out and enjoy the city. It's going to be beautiful this week. Support local as always. And we're going to see you next week on the next episode of I Am Salt Lake Podcast.
And good night, Grammy.